Hey guys, we are going to do a sketch with me of sorts today. We're basically going to fill a page in my sketchbook. This isn't something that I would typically do in a YouTube video, but I just thought this would be really fun, so we'll dive into it. So I'm gonna be doing food illustration in today's video. This is something that I would typically do at like a cafe. If you've ever seen my going on a date art vlog, I drew a cupcake in that video. And that's pretty normal. I like to draw food when I'm out and about because food illustration and biological illustration, editorial illustration, that stuff really interests me and I want to dive into it more. I'll show you the supplies I'm gonna be using. I'm gonna be using this Decadent Pies palette from PRIMA Watercolor. It's really great for drawing different pastries and foods. It has a lot of the earthy, muted, foodie colors, which is very nice, blueberry-ish colors, and yeah, you name it, it's here. It's really wonderful, super pigmented. So we will be using this, and in conjunction with those watercolors, I will be using colored pencils. Let's hop into this and do something foodie. I hope I make everybody here hungry. Except I'm drawing a food that is you either love it or you hate it. I have my pencil here and I'm just going to draw the shape of it very lightly. Can anybody tell what I am drawing based on the outward shape so far? I don't know why, I've just really been wanting to get back into food illustration. I feel like I've been illustrating a lot of other things lately, so yeah, getting back into this feels really nice. Right now I'm going over everything with a knead eraser. Okay, you can probably hardly see that, but that's okay because we will be going over it. And I just realized I forgot to draw the middle of this, so we're just gonna do that real quick, alright? Yeah. Sometimes that happens in life, you just forget things. So I'm drawing an avocado. I think avocados are beautiful because they're such bright green colors, but it's actually probably my favorite food aside from Oreos and homemade salsa. I know, call me such a millennial, whatever. They're really good. Alright, I'm going to lightly go over this with watercolor. So I have my spray bottle, I'm gonna move my pencil, I have my paints, I have a blotting towel here, it's just a paper towel, and I have various watercolor brushes. What are you doing in here? This is not a watercolor brush. I am going to just use these as mixing trays and take out this swatch card. The swatch card is really nice for knowing what colors you can expect in your work and then what colors you want to mix. So I really like the PRIMA palette for that. Wow, I sound like a reviewer right now, but I'm just very passionate about these watercolors. Alright, I feel like that's a good avocado seed wash kind of color. So let's just, yeah, that's good. Do this. This isn't the normal art that I put on my channel, I would say, but this is something that I really enjoy. I think it's really fun to show you guys the other sides of my art journey. So hopefully you enjoy this, but if not, I'll see you in another video. It's okay to tune out. So I am looking at a reference photo from pexels.com. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a free stock photo website. So if I don't have a reference photo on hand, I could have very easily cut open an avocado and done this, but we don't have any right now, so that's why I'm doing this. So this isn't going to look the cleanest, but I am going over everything in colored pencil, so it's all good and dandy. I'm gonna let this layer dry and then I'm going to come back in here and we'll start painting the actual green part of the avocado and then add a little bit more value to this once it's dry. Alright, the first thing I'm doing is kind of a yellowish color for the base. And this will kind of help me to have the values and contrast I want later on. So I'll go in and I'll add some green around the edges. But if you look at an avocado when you cut it open, typically it's a little more yellow toward the seed. Alright, I am just going in now with this avocado green color and blending it toward the center a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit more detail in the center of this now. Alright, I'm taking this small Virtuoso brush now, adding a little bit of blue to this brown color for some extra contrast. And what I'm doing is I'm gonna do some shading around the edges of the seed to make it pop more. You know what, while we're on the topic of avocados, I did recently create avocado stickers. Oh my goodness, I should show you guys. Oh my goodness, guys. Okay, so I recently made these and I'm getting really into creating stickers lately. So I made these avocados and look how cute they are. Oh my goodness. I really like the little lovers, but I also like the pregnant one. I think it's so adorable. Quite a few of you guys have already bought this, so that's exciting. I do have a couple left though, so if you're interested, yeah, go on over to my shop. Nothing like a little bit of shameless self-promo. Okay, I'm also going to do a lighter line around this side of the avocado, just for the sake of contrast. When we go in with colored pencil, we can fix some stuff too, which is great. Next, I am going to do something very similar than what I just did. I'm going to take some of this avocado green, mix that here, take some of the brown that I just used for that seed. I like to share colors, and I'm gonna go all around my avocado because they have that like tough skin on the edge. What's really fun about the avocado slice is I can be all squiggly and wiggly because the skin looks kind of rough. So you kind of want that rough looking line on the outside of your avocado. By the way, if you guys feel like doing this with me, feel free. Feel free to paint this exact thing and tag me on Instagram. I really love doing sketch with me's. I think it's really fun to do art together. So that's kind of why I'm describing my process with this video. So if like you don't know what to draw in your sketchbook, you can follow along and paint with me. Hopefully you enjoy it and you feel productive and like you're learning. Alright, here is little avocado guy. Alright, I just went around the edges and shaded on the side of the seed like this and just added a little bit of value with my dark avocado green and just went and layered around the edges. So I'm going to let that dry and then I think I'm going to hop in here with some colored pencil. I might add a little bit actually to the seed though. The avocado seed looks a little more yellow in the center where the sun is hitting it, and I kind of want to preserve that warm look, so we're going for it. Yes. Do any of you guys like drawing food? Let me know down below. I kind of like to do this kind of artwork just for myself. It makes me really happy. Eventually, I think I do want to get into like editorial illustration, so sometimes when I do this stuff, I do have the intention of like building up my art portfolio for stuff that's like outside of the YouTube world and more in like the freelance world. Okay, I just sharpened my pencils, which look like a busted up mess, but we're gonna go with it. And now I'm just going to start layering on top of my watercolor to create extra value. If you're using cheaper watercolors, this is a really great way to get around not having as much pigmentation with your paints. So if your paint isn't super pigmented and you want that extra pop, I would recommend going in with watercolor. I personally just like to go in with watercolor regardless. When I go over everything with colored pencil, I do press very light because I'm okay with the watercolor kind of showing through. I think it adds some character. Taking another brown color now, and I'm just going to keep layering. I do have some harsh watercolor lines that you see, and that's just where the watercolor dried, and that's like the edges. So I am going to try to make that a little softer, but I do like the way it looks also. So if you're curious about anything I'm using, I will leave links down below. So if you want to know where you can get like free stock photos to use for references, I'll leave that down below. This is not sponsored. I'm just trying to help people out. I will leave my colored pencil links down below, the sketchbook, and the watercolors if you're interested in anything about what I use. The middle of this seed is quite yellow, so I'm going to just do a little layer of yellow before I add any other things. That way the yellow consistently peeks through, and I'm going to add some of it over here as well, just to bring some life to this seed. And one really neat thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bleed this brown out onto the avocado, because again, I like to borrow colors from other places in my picture to limit my palette, but carry the shadow of the seed over. And then later I can add like blues or purples to the shadows if I want. I'm going to take this same brown here and layer some more in the seed. By the way, guys, when I go to use colored pencil, something that I learned is to sharpen all of them that you'll be using ahead of time. Okay, I say that as this end is broken, but this end is sharp. So try to sharpen them all ahead of time, because if you have a really nice point, you can get a lot more detail and it'll look less grainy. I'm going in with a tiny, tiny bit of purple in some of the shadowed areas. And I think this softens up the seed a little bit and makes it look a little more friendly. Maybe you want to eat it. You know? There we go. So we added a little bit of purple in through here. You can still see the watercolor dried marks, and I think I am going to keep that because it looks kind of nice in my opinion. If you don't like that as a stylistic choice, you can eliminate it. Let me know if you guys like these kinds of videos where I do more of the realistic art, or if you prefer just the cartoon stuff or what, or do you like the variety? I think I enjoy the variety because I feel like I have more freedom. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. Alright, now that the seed is fairly shaded, I am going to start sneaking some green in here that's reflecting off of the avocado, because again, borrowing colors. I like to call it borrowing colors. Just imagine like using the eyedropper in Photoshop. Kind of applying that to your work to kind of keep it more cohesive, but also making sure it makes sense to add color in certain places. So look at your reference photo if you have one, or your still life, and see what's going on. You gotta study things. You can even swatch color and hold it up to whatever you're doing as well, and that is very helpful. I'm gonna start doing some detail within the green portion of my avocado now. So first, I'm just layering some yellow in the center. And this is a light yellow. I want the avocado to look nice, creamy, and ripe. Who here likes avocado? Raise your hand and let me know. And if you like it, how do you like to eat yours? I pretty much like to just chop mine up and put lemon and salt on it, but sometimes I like to do avocado toast, or I like to make guac. One thing I'm also doing is I'm coloring in the direction that everything is going. So I'm not just doing straight lines or like circles. I am actually going around the edges in the direction that I see the shading happening. And that just makes things look a little more realistic. Oh, the sound of colored pencil on paper. Love it. Alright, I am layering over the outer skin of the avocado, again going in the direction that the avocado is kind of going. And I'm not pressing super hard, I'm kind of letting some of that brown-ish green that I painted with to show through. And then I'll probably layer a little bit of brown around the edges as well. Why not? Now I'm going to layer a little bit more brown in the center. And then we'll do a little bit of white. Now I'm not gonna go crazy with the white because in a minute we're gonna bust out the gouache and really have some fun. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little bit of white to my palette. Okay, let's do this. I think I'm actually gonna make it more of a creamy white. That way it's not like straight up white. Now I'm just going to do some details on this seed. And then around here I am also going to highlight just to make it look really delicious. I'm doing some highlights around the edges with this white gouache, but I don't want to go crazy because you can go overboard with white highlights. So I'm kind of doing this like light stippling throughout the project now, and yeah. Yeah guys, we're done. This is the finished avocado. Let me show you up close, okay? Here it is up close. So yeah, this is the kind of food illustration that I like to do for fun. And you guys got a little peek into that world. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this. And I hope you have a good day. Bye guys.